Good morning, traders. It is Tuesday, April 29th, 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to another video with Digital Goatz Academy. I'm your host, Antoine Farrar, as always, and welcome to our market overview section. So let's just get into the market right now. Great signs that I've been seeing. So what I want to discuss is what's the possibility of what indices may be doing today. Along with a couple of other pairs. I only got about 20, 30 minutes, so bear with me. This will be extremely fast, but let's talk about what happened as the market opened beginning of this week, right? So if we're looking at US 31, let's go ahead and back out to the weekly time frame, right? All right, so as you can see on the weekly time frame, we have bullish momentum, right? There was a on the smaller time frame, this is a bullish engulfing candle, along with you see, other bull candles are being presented into the market, meaning that there are buyers into the market. There's more positivity within the market, within the space, across the stock market, and as a whole across America, if you ask me. So we're not trying to get into politics. Let's just worry about the technicals. But I know that Trump, Putin, and president of China, I don't want to butcher his name, but I think it's Xi Jinping. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but those three individuals, they were having trade talks yesterday, I believe, yesterday afternoon. I haven't found out what like the conclusion was to that, but obviously being reflected in the market, there was some positive talks based off the technicals, but not to mention, even when we look at the fundamentals, the technicals have been telling us buy opportunities. Now, what did happen Sunday? Let's hone into what happened at the open of Sunday, right? So if you see Sunday gap down slightly, this was the gap that Sunday made, right? So the market did push down. It pushed down Sunday, and then come Monday morning, basically into the London session, got bullish, pulled back to Sunday. That confirmed right there, that move right there, until we see what happens at 9:30, that confirmed bullish momentum. Now, the only thing is does price want to push down a little bit more to test this gap again at 9:30? I'm not thinking that because to me, based off of the Hakanashi candle pattern, so if you go up here on your trading view to the candlesticks, to the candle icon where it says candles, or maybe you have a line chart, click on it and come all the way down to it says Hakanashi. I know it sounds like people say Hakanashi when they say it fast, but it's Hakanashi. I think I said the same thing twice, but Hakanashi, right? So that measures momentum, which you do want to see flat bottoms and not like how the market is showing these wicks. It's struggling, but all these are bull candles, even though there's some inconsistency within this bullish trend. If you scale down, maybe we'll start to see more bullish momentum being presented. We're seeing selling momentum right here, but to me, that just looks like it's going to be a pullback in order to continue the market trending up. But again, we haven't hit 9:30. The only information that we have based off the technicals is that since the open of Sunday, we've been above, you know what I'm saying? We've been up. So we're pretty much up from the open of Sunday, meaning that we are bullish currently right now. We just have to see how the market plays out today. I am still looking at the market to continue bullish overall, to continue in an uptrend across the board with indices. The only thing I'm skeptical of is that we didn't really collect this gap 100%. What day was this? Tuesday. Let me see. Tuesday. This happened Tuesday? Yeah, this is that 5 o'clock move. So this happened last Tuesday at 5 o'clock. So you see the market did dip down to collect, like a percentage of it, but I don't count that as necessarily collecting 100% of that gap. I would have liked to seen it like push down a little bit more since we have structure down here. Now, the thing is that if we are continuing to be bullish, look what we have to identify that is going to confirm. It is confirming, but to add more confluence to your analysis, right? Let me go ahead and draw this. Now, I'm terrible at identifying these. I like to say, I am. I'm pretty terrible at identifying these, but let's see. Now I kind of changed this. It does look a little bit different on the higher time frame. But family, traders, are y'all with me? Is that possibly what we've been waiting for? Is this the confirmation on the hour time frame to continue having this market push even higher? Same thing with S&P, right? So that is something that I wanted to identify, that I believe that we did spot that. Now, I think I was looking at on a different time frame when I identified this. Let me see. On a 4 hour. I think it looked a little bit different on like S&P, and I didn't check NASDAQ, but I mean, talk to me, traders. Oh, didn't mean to do that. To say that, now here's where we kind of backtrack. Here's where we identify like what has happened in order for this to actually even be true. Okay, we have bullish momentum, we gap down, we did collect a percentage of this. I mean, you can say it collected 100%. That's just not the way that I normally see how gaps work. But I mean, if I'm looking at it on a 4 hour time frame, it did collect 100% of that gap. So cool. Okay, that gap has been validated, and it's been tested at the top of it. So okay, snaking back, we see that that gap got tested. The gap actually collected the equity 100%. I'm still skeptical, but we'll see. 100%. Okay, we make our way back down. Well, here's where we had that major gap that was from when the market was selling in March, right? So when the market was selling in March, this was the last selling move that the market made before it started getting bullish, right? What did we do? Okay, we broke up out of this area. Remember I told you that on that weekly time frame, that bullish candle was a bullish engulfing. Bullish engulfing retest, well, basically started ranging. So moving sideways in this market, correcting itself. Oh, what do? We drop down even lower. Where do we drop back to? The previous high. Not on two things happened. Not only did we drop back, now I'll take the head and shoulder off because I might be confusing people a little bit, right? We're focusing on after the bull move, we see that the market drops to a previous level of resistance, which it did. But guess what? It's luring people in so it can drop even lower. And that's what my expectation was overall. I wasn't able to really identify it truly, but yeah, from here, it started selling. And then it sold back to the lower previous high, which was what? The high of the gap, right? So we have two things that validated this buy, right? So, okay, we gapped Sunday. Not this past Sunday. We gapped last Tuesday, which was odd. This wasn't even like a gap where the market closed like at like over the weekend. This was like during like a 5 o'clock move, which is the fact that it gapped so like ferociously. It's kind of crazy to me. But again, probably solidifying that, yes, I want to buy back up. I want to continue this bull momentum. So we see that we collected that equity. We pushed back up. We retested. It doesn't always have to test into the gap, but I would like it to test, on the top of the gap, you know what I'm saying? Like anything like that's close to the gap as possible. So it didn't test into it, but tested pretty much the top, didn't even like hit my zone and stuff, but that still validates it because again, we're making our analysis when we're drawing our annotations on a chart. What we draw isn't what the market is recognizing. You get lucky that if it does respect your annotation, but if it doesn't, that doesn't necessarily mean that, like for instance, that doesn't necessarily have meant that, oh man, it's selling or like it's not valid for the buy because it didn't touch. That's what I'm getting at. So it's not valid for the buy because it didn't touch my own annotation that I made. The market doesn't work off of what we draw. You know what I'm saying? It works off of the levels and the price levels that it's conditioned to follow. So, I just want to reiterate that and have everybody keep that in mind that, yeah, even though you're drawing these zones, trust your own analysis, trust your own chart market, but at the same time, they're not concrete. And as you can see, this is an example of it right here, which if I wasn't paying attention, I would have missed this thinking that the market might have been continuing to sell right here. I would, to be honest, until it broke out of this area, I still wouldn't have known because it's consolidating, giving looks that it wanted to sell, but it didn't. That was the retest for this gap, and then to push the market up. And then we look at it on the 4-hour time frame, based off the Hakanashis, we should see bullish momentum. Now, here's the information that I wanted to see. So even though in that hour time frame, we were seeing like confusion or indecision within the Hakanashi candles, you see flat bottoms, flat bottoms, flat bottoms. They're not strong momentum, but I rather the flat bottoms than having like wicks protruding out from both ends, you see? So you see how like, even when it was selling right here, the wicks were coming out of both ends. Confusion, not really strong to the downside. Same thing up here, not really strong to the upside, not really strong. But right here, after this gap, this pretty much told us, yeah, we're building momentum to the top. Unless 930 decides to say, I'm gonna bring the biggest sell candle that anybody has ever seen, which that's quite possible. But based off of this momentum, the next candle that opens up on the 4-hour time frame, which is in 13 minutes, should be a bull candle. I mean, it might open up bearish, but it should want to close bullish. And then from there, we'll see if the market starts selling off. So that's what I'm looking at for US 30 to continue buying up. We just have to get past 930, just like we did yesterday with indices. Just get past 930. It did show us some signs that it was trying to sell off, but all it did was retrace back to those lower levels in order to continue pushing up. And I think that was, over here. So you see, it really didn't do much yesterday. And if you look at it, it's just been consolidating what? To the upside. It's been consolidating upward. So that's what I'm looking at for indices. I mean, it's not too much explanation needing to go into like S&P or anything like that. We kind of see what the market is showing us, you know what I'm saying? We just have to be patient and execute flawlessly on our entry. And 930, one thing that I did want to emphasize on 930 is that normally 930 shows its hand as long as, you're still following the technicals and the trend of the market. So 930 normally so this is how I've seen it operate. Market pushes up around 930, market could push all the way back down to these lower levels, but it's doing that in order to find support to buy back up. So I wouldn't be surprised if at 930 the market opens up a little bit bearish aggressively and then buys back up. Now, here's the thing. If it opens up bullish and goes up, that could be the sign that the market might try to pull back a little bit back to these lower levels if we open up bullish. So we'll just have to see what 930 shows up, but that's what I'm looking at. I've seen that happen over and over. 930 spikes or spikes up or spikes down. And then depending on the trend that it came from, it's normally just trying to retest lower areas or retest higher areas in order to bring the market down, or retest lower levels in order to bring the market up. So there's quite a possibility that like S&P and US 30 could decide to open up bearish, come back down, and then buy back up. But we'll have to see when the market starts showing us its hand. But that's pretty much all I got for today. Well, let me look at a few other things. I was expecting Bitcoin to possibly drop down to correct itself as well, but it looks like it's doing the same thing as other indices, and this may be that tech rally that they were talking about. So as you can see, it consolidated. I forgot what this called. This move is actually called something. So it just consolidated, you know what I'm saying, and it's building momentum, and it's probably going to continue buying up. As you can see that Bitcoin is playing to this inverted head and shoulder. So we've identified an inverted head and shoulder on Bitcoin, US 30, not to mention S&P. I'm sure there's one on the NASDAQ, but I don't look at the NASDAQ. All you other traders can trade that. So the rally for assets and cryptocurrencies, I wouldn't say equities, but between the stock market and the crypto market, man, it looks like we're about to be on a major bull run. Do y'all feel me? You know what I'm saying? We just have to get past, this uncertainty. But just like we've been seeing after these tariffs have been imposed, the market's been pretty calm now. Been pretty calm and giving us the sight picture that we've been wanting to see. So That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the market to rally. We could get a pullback down to this level, but I know crypto doesn't really, respect the fundamental approach of the market like other currency pairs do. So if we do get another opportunity to buy back up, it'll be around like 87K. But as far as we see right now, the momentum is definitely to the top side across the board. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. We'll just have to see what 9:30 between 9:30 12 brings us today, but this might be what we were looking for that major bull run that the market is going to give us. So appreciate everyone, Tom. If you're tuning into this video, make sure you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. That definitely helps the channel grow, and we are growing. So I'm definitely excited, and I appreciate everybody that's been committing to showing up back to Digital Goatz Academy. We're a small company, but expect us to be big in the future. So I thank everyone that's a patron and that continues to support this channel. So I will see everybody on the next video with Digital Goatz Academy, which will be our live trading segment. So just get ready, lock in traders. This is probably going to be a year not to forget within the trading space. So I will see everybody on our next video.